She checked into room 666, but she never checked out. They warned her. Locals whispered about it. Even the front desk clerk begged her to reconsider. But Natalie, exhausted, alone, and trapped in a violent thunderstorm, ignored it all. Room 666. It sounded like superstition, a creepy coincidence maybe, but she would soon discover it wasn't just a number. It was a gateway. She had been driving for hours through the rain, her GPS spinning in circles as if possessed. Her gas tank was bleeding dry, and her phone battery was down to 3%. Every town she passed was abandoned, swallowed by mist. So when she spotted a flickering neon sign, the Raven Hill Inn, she pulled into the parking lot without hesitation. The lobby smelled like mothballs and mildew. Time seemed frozen. An old grandfather clock ticked too slowly, as if resisting the present. The man behind the front desk barely looked up. His face was pale, his eyes sunken and twitchy. When Natalie asked if they had a room, his fingers trembled as they hovered over the logbook. "I have one left," he said in a hoarse whisper. "Room 666. Natalie blinked, suppressing a grin. "You're kidding." His face did not change. "I don't joke about that room. It's just a number." He said nothing, but before handing her the key, he leaned forward and whispered, "Don't open the wardrobe, no matter what you hear." She paused, but then shrugged. She was too tired to argue, too soaked and cold to care. She took the key and headed for the elevator, unaware that every step forward was a step deeper into something not of this world. The sixth floor was silent. Deathly so. The lights above flickered in a sickly yellow glow, buzzing faintly like insects trapped behind the walls. Room 666 was at the very end, and its number plate was nearly scratched off as if someone tried to erase it from existence. The key fit with a reluctant click. Natalie pushed the door open. The room was wrong. It looked normal, ornate wallpaper, velvet drapes, an antique mirror on the wall. But the air was ice cold. The furniture was coated in a thin layer of dust, despite the bed being perfectly made. It felt like someone had just left, or never left. Then her eyes landed on the wardrobe. It was massive, carved from wood so dark it looked black. Twisting symbols were etched into its surface, symbols that seemed to writhe if you looked too long. Its handles looked like horns. Natalie felt instantly uneasy. It loomed in the corner like a silent predator. She remembered Carl's warning. "Don't open the wardrobe." She tried to shake the tension off. Probably a silly ghost story to mess with tourists. She changed clothes, climbed into bed, and turned on the TV. Only static. Every channel. The landline didn't work either. Not even a dial tone. Then the room grew colder. Her breath turned visible in the air. Suddenly the lights flickered once, twice, 3 times. Then silence. Then scratching. Software, delicate, like long nails across wood, coming from the wardrobe. Natalie sat upright, heart pounding. Maybe an animal, a rat, something trapped inside. The scratching stopped. Then came the whispers. "Let me out." Natalie froze. "Please, let me out." The voice was broken, hollow, but it wasn't just one voice. It was many, layered over each other, echoing and rising like a wave of the dead. Then came a thud, a muffled bang, as if something inside had thrown itself against the door. Natalie gasped when she saw faint, greasy handprints begin forming on the wardrobe's surface from the inside. Then the whispers changed. "We see you. She's watching. You shouldn't have come." The floor beneath her began to bulge, like something was crawling just under the carpet circling her. The wardrobe door creaked. Natalie jumped from bed. The door opened a sliver. She stepped back, grabbing the bedside lamp like a weapon. Then the air changed. The reflection in the mirror began to twitch. She stared at herself, but her reflection wasn't matching her movements anymore. It was smiling. Natalie wasn't. Her reflection raised a hand, slowly pressing its palm against the glass, mouth opening wider than any human jaw could. From behind her, a moan. She spun. The wardrobe door was now wide open, inside darkness. But the shadows moved. Out stepped her, or something wearing her skin. The thing looked exactly like her, but its eyes were pitch black and weeping tar. Its smile stretched ear to ear. Its fingers were too long, and its movements unnatural, like it was learning how to use her body. "You opened it," the thing whispered in her voice. "Now I'm free." Natalie screamed, charging at it with the lamp. She swung, shattering it across the thing's face. It didn't bleed. It just laughed. The room began to rot. Wallpaper peeled like flesh. The carpet squelched with blood. The mirror shattered, and from its cracks, dozens of faces looked out screaming, twisted versions of former guests. All trapped. From the cracks in the ceiling, black ichor began dripping, forming symbols on the floor that pulsed like a beating heart. The bed levitated and slammed down violently, again and again, as if unseen hands were trying to break reality itself. Then Natalie heard the sound of chanting in a language she couldn't understand, coming from inside the wardrobe, growing louder with each second. A second mirror appeared on the wall, and in it, she saw herself dangling by invisible strings like a marionette mouth moving, but silent. Natalie ran to the door. It was gone. Not locked, just gone. Nothing but a solid wall where it had been. She turned back to find the doppelganger now just inches away. "I like your voice," it whispered, "but I think I'll take your soul too." Natalie grabbed a shard of mirror and stabbed it into the creature's throat. It hissed, not in pain, but as if amused. The walls bled darker. A low rumble shook the room. The wardrobe began sucking air like a vacuum, pulling everything back toward its drawers, glass, the curtains. Natalie clawed at the floor, holding on for dear life. But the thing didn't fight it. It smiled and let itself be dragged back inside, taking Natalie with it. Her scream vanished the second the wardrobe slammed shut. The next morning, the hotel was quiet. Carl approached room 666 slowly. His hand trembled as he turned the knob. The door creaked open. The room was spotless, pristine, as if no one had ever been there. On the desk sat the guest ledger. A fresh signature had been added. Natalie Harper checked out, but she hadn't. Not really. The woman who left that morning looked exactly like Natalie, dressed like her, walked like her. But Carl knew. He always knew. She gave him a smile as she passed, but her eyes were too dark, her skin too pale. And when she opened her mouth to say goodbye, he saw rows of teeth. The air around her shimmered, like heat rising off asphalt, distorting her form with flickers of something else underneath. As she stepped into daylight, the shadows bent toward her as if bowing. That night, Carl quit. He left Raven Hill for good, burned his uniform, never looked back. The hotel, it still stands. Police closed the sixth floor, but sometimes travelers say they see lights on in room 666 or hear tapping from the ceiling above. Sometimes guests disappear, their names added to the ledger, and sometimes they check out. But what leaves the room isn't them anymore. So if you ever find yourself stranded, desperate for rest, and you come across a hotel offering one last room, ask for a different one. Because if you take room 666, you'll never leave alone. And if you do, you're not you anymore. Thanks for watching. If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-tingling horror stories. And remember, some rooms should never be entered. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next nightmare.